Good afternoon guys, so we are here to discuss about the different types of firewalls. So first, let's know about what is firewall.
What is firewall? Firewall is a wall of partition designed to inhibit or prevent a spread of computer system or network, which designed to unblock authorized access while permitting outward communication. So there's an example of firewall like Trojan, virus, sa access the security kung mag-open ka computer. Hindi sa basta-basta mo access og na security.
Let's talk about the different type of firewall.
Number 1, packet filtering.
Filtering firewall. Suppose I am downloading a file from internet. When the data packet arrives a packet filtering firewall, it only checks the sender's and the receiver's IP address and the port number present in the data packet. The rules written in a list called access control list are used for data packet verification. If everything is okay, then the data packet is allowed to pass through packet filtering firewall and then to my computer.
Number 2, circuit level.
Most of the time when you're browsing the internet, you're communicating through a circuit level gateway firewall. Now that's very likely in addition to a packet filtering firewall, and just to be clear, the one firewall can perform multiple roles as well. But the role of the circuit level gateway firewall is to relay requests between two separate hosts. So for example, a client and a server. So we may see a TCP request come into the firewall, then be relayed to the server. So here the firewall is acting as a gateway, and then the response come back through that firewall and ultimately back to the client. Now the important thing here is that these two endpoints, the client and the server, are never making a direct connection. Everything goes through that circuit level gateway firewall. So this device is actually creating two connections, one to the client and one to the server. It sits there and monitors things like the three-way TCP handshake. And by doing so, it can establish whether that request is legitimate or not. The circuit level gateway firewall can also make sure that responses actually match up to requests. So is what's coming back out of that server in response to a legitimate request from the client, and should it be allowed back through? Or is someone potentially trying to exfiltrate data out of the network? But as with the packet filtering firewall, a circuit level gateway firewall will still allow a lot of data through that could potentially be for malicious purposes. So for example, if the gateway is designed to allow HTTP communication, and the client is busily exploiting a SQL injection risk in the server itself, then the firewall will allow the requests and responses through. That is legitimate HTTP traffic, at least in terms of conforming to the expected structure of the firewall. It's HTTP over port 80, it's happy, it's going to let that through. It also doesn't provide any packet level defense. It merely confirms that those connections are legitimate. Now this is another model of firewall that you will typically see used on things like home cable modems and routers, and you'll often see it implementing NAT, network address translation, so that you can have multiple clients sitting behind that firewall, all sharing the one internet connection. As with the packet filtering firewall, it's an important part of the infrastructure, but it is very rudimentary. Where things start to get more sophisticated is when we go to an application level gateway firewall. Let's go and take a look at that now.
Number 3, stateful multilayer. So stateful multilayer inspection firewall, or SMLI, is a mechanism that uses a sophisticated form of packet filtering, examining all major layers of the OSI model. So based on the definition, this type of firewall is not done at one stage only. This consists of series of steps nga kailangan nimo buhaton to secure traffic at different levels of the OSI model. So let me give you a background about what OSI model means. So OSI stands for Open Systems Interconnection, and it is a framework used to describe the different functions of a networking system. So ang OSI model di ay is nag-serve as guide to know how your network systems works or functions. As we know, stateful multi-layer inspection firewall allows only data from trusted sources. So how does it works? It examines packets or data on the network, transmission and application levels, comparing them to know trusted packets. So gitagsa-tagsa jud nag-check sa SMLI or stateful multi-layer inspection ang data through each layer jud na sa OSI model to secure that all communication nga nahitabo is from trusted sources, and once ma-check na sa stateful multi-layer inspection ng packets, then accepted na siya. To be more specific, an stateful multi-layer inspection firewall is not necessarily a single firewall implementation. Rather, it is a series of firewalls that work in concert to secure traffic at different levels of the OSI model. It may be a composition of a stateless packet filter, a stateful firewall, as well as an application level proxy.
Number 4, application level. The application firewalls, also known as proxy firewalls, filter network traffic at the application layer by relaying requests from the initiating party to the responding party. Unlike traditional firewalls, the proxy serves as an intermediary between the two end systems. The client must send a request to the firewall, where it is then evaluated against a set of security rules, either permitted or blocked. Most notably, proxy firewalls monitor traffic for layer 7 and protocols such as HTTP and FTP, and use both stateful and the packet inspection to detect malicious traffic. So, maybe nayo sa client mo send request sa sample na username and password login. The client must login the username and password. So maybe the client dili sa kayo madali nga mo set of security rules kay naay may permitted or blocked. It is nga nasa rules nga proxy firewalls nga monitor sa computer such as HTTP and FTP. HTTP usa na siya ka IP address nga mi-input ka pangalan sa imong password, which is name password sa imong user, then transmit pag abot sa computer binary ang katong username password nimo nga pangalan, bali mahimo siya binary na murag IP address nga number, then detect the malicious traffic. So both HTTP and FTP nga atong number mao siya mo guide sa imong password nga lugar, name to binary ay imong result.